Okay, so today we're gonna be using size 3, which is a fine yarn. To me personally, it looks more like medium, but that's just me personally. I'm using this specific type because this size because I find that what looks and feels to me as medium works best for my personal skill level with scarves. I feel like it moves really well and it's very like malleable. It's not too bulky where it'll be too stiff, and it's not too fine where it takes forever to complete a project. I'm gonna be using an 8mm hook. I'm using an 8mm with such a small yarn size because I want you to be able to see the stitches better. Also, if you use a bigger hook, again, the it'll be more malleable, more movable because the spaces between each stitch will be wider. So instead of like the spaces between each being like this, they'll be like this, or as an example, not literally, but as an example. So they'll move better. You won't feel like you can't move in it. All right. So I'm gonna do a slip stitch. I personally usually leave a nice size tail because it's easier for me to weave in when I'm done to make it to disappear easier, and then I just cut the excess off that I didn't weave in. So hopefully you know how to make a slip knot. Let me show you. Yeah. You go like this. And then you grab the long piece and you pull it tight. As tight as you can is okay because it'll still be movable, as you can see. Okay, so one more time. You just kind of smaller side in the front. You reach through with both fingers. You grab the long piece and you pull. Okay, I'm gonna leave that because that doesn't bother me. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this tighter. I tend to make my first chain a little bit tighter because that one usually ends up kind of like stretching out usually in a lot of projects. So I tend to make it a little bit tighter than the rest of them. For the purpose of this scarf, I'm going to be chaining 24. I found that the actual scarf I have done this product on worked nicely with 24 chains, but I did use a smaller hook. I think I used medium yarn with that one, and the either the corresponding hook or a little bit higher. So I think like usually like a 5 is a 4.5mm or a 5mm would be suggestible for a medium yarn size. I pretty sure I did 5 to 5.5mm. I like 5.5mm quite a bit actually. Okay, so I'm gonna chain 24. 1. I'm gonna make these a little bit loose. 3, It's always good to make your chains a little bit loose. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sorry, it's a little bit a little bit blurry. Where were we at? 20? 21, 22, 23, 24. I always suggest double counting your chains and your stitches, especially your chains when a project calls for a very specific amount. 24 is a specific amount to this specific pattern that I'm doing, which is the basket weave. And the reason why is because the size that I do it at is 4 by 4s, so it's in increments of 4. And the 24 is a nice, not too big, not too small for a the width of a scarf, not the length, the width, so how long, how thick it will be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, good. All right. So we have our chain 24. So all of these will be double stitches, double crochets. I'm sorry. Wait, I'm just gonna pull that one out real quick and redo that one because that one was big. These are gonna be double crochets. Which if you're doing UK terminology would be treble crochet. I personally don't usually chain 3. I chain 2 as the height of my double crochets. So I chain 2, and then I go back to the 24th stitch. I skip those 2, and I go in, and I make a double crochet. Okay, I'm just basically gonna do that all the way along, just one in each. And honestly, actually, you know what we're gonna do? We are going to go into the back of the stitch. So instead of going into the side here, to make the bottom look a little more neat, we are going to go into the back. So you have a little bitty bump there, that bump right there. And you might kind of have to kind of smush it and kind of play with it to find that bump. That bump is what we're going to do, and we're going to crochet into instead of just the random side. So you see all those little bumps? Yeah, little humps, bumps, humps, whatever you want to call them. Little camel humps. So 2, 3. Again, just lay down your chain basically, and when you lay it, you'll see all these, you know, these humps on the back here. That's what we're going into, that little teeny hole between them. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and the bump on the back is a little bit smaller because I usually make that tighter, but I can still find it. If you don't want to do into the bump, that's fine. That's totally fine. It just, if you don't want to make a border on your, on your piece that you're working on, it just, it makes it look a little bit more neat looking. Since we have our 24, what we're going to actually do is we are going to make a second one in the very last chain spot. So we're going to do 2 into this one, not just 1 double crochet. So I'm just going to do 1 extra one. And the reason for that is because, again, it makes the edges look a little bit neater. It gives it more of the effect that we're going for. So we're going to chain 2. I'm sorry, my nails are in the way. And turn our work. And then basically what we're going to do is we are always going to ignore the first stitch. Just pretend like it's not there. This first stitch here helps the first one that we work into, which is going to be the second one, the one in the same exact chain spot, to pop out more. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook between the 2 of them. See, it's behind. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop it out the other side of that stitch. So we're going to go behind the post. So this is the second one, the second stitch in the first chain 1 spot. And again, you go between them 2, and then you poke it out the other side. And then we're just going to carry on doing a double crochet. We're going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2. And then we're going to do that 3 more times. In the next 3 stitches, we're going to do 1 each. So again, we're going to put our hook between the one that we just did and the next one, and then we're going to pop it out the other side of that post. And then we are going to yarn over and pull through, yarn over pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, you're going to yarn over, and we're going to go between the one that we just did and the next one. We're going to go in that gap. We're going to go behind it, and we're going to pull it out the other side. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we actually have 3 done so far, because as I said, we completely disregard this one. Again, this one is just to make everything look a little bit nicer. So again, yarn over, poke it through the back, pull it through the other side, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and now we are going to actually basically do the opposite. We're going to kind of sort of like turn it over in a way almost. I mean, you don't have to. Once you get better, you don't need to, but I just want to show you. So what we're going to do here is yarn over, okay? And then we're going to pull our hook and go like this. So technically, we're doing the same thing except behind it. So our hook, this is the front. Our hook is in front of the post instead of behind it like the last 4. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again, and again, you're going to go into the next one. We just did this one. So you're going to put your hook between that one and the next one and pull through. Again, if you look from the front, your hook is in front of that next stitch. So we yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is how it looks from the front. I'll show you for the next 2. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you now have 4 of each, and that is the start of your pattern. I know these 2 look a little bit weird because of the way that I was showing you. I would suggest trying to learn how to do it with the project facing you instead of like this, because you might end up like this, but you might do better than me, who knows. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the first part of the pattern, this one. I think those are front post stitches. I always get them mixed up. Okay, so we're gonna do front post stitches again. So we're gonna yarn over, and remember you're counting by 4s. So if you can't figure out like which one you just finished, because maybe it looks a little bit odd, I mean, you could either count, because it's a little bit noticeable where the change is. See, you can tell you have 4 with this one and then 4 with this one. But if you really can't tell by just looking at it that way, just count them. Again, disregard the very first one that's like usually very round looking like this, and just count by 4s. And once you get to your 4, you know that one is done, and to start the next type of stitch counting. So you have front post 4, back post 4, then we're going to do another 4 front posts. So again, yarn over, poke it through the back, pull it out the other side. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. Okay. So you can see a little bit more of the pattern now. I know my camera isn't the best, I'm sorry. And then again, you're going to do back posts. So we're going to go, it's a little bit loose. We're going to go behind and then in front. This is the front of the project, by the way. I know it looks, it doesn't sit quite right because we're still early on in the project. It doesn't look very easy to follow because it's all like curly and stuff like that. So this is the last one we did here. So we're going to go in the next one, around the front of the next one and out the other side. So we have 2 of them. Three and 4. And now we're going to do front post again. So you just finished with this one. So we're going to move on to this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then one more set of back posts. So 1, 2, 3. And when you come to the last one, it might look a little bit difficult to tell, but these are 2. This was your chain 2, and we're going to disregard this chain 2 just the same way as we disregarded the second stitch in the very first chain space. So pretend it's not even there, and do your best to kind of like find it and pull it away if you need to, so you can like see how to, you know, pull it through and make the stitch just the way you would with any of the other ones that we've done so far. Okay, so we are going to, again, just like we did with the one over here to the end over here, we're going to make a second, we're going to do a second back post crochet in this last one. So basically just either above or below. I think above might be a little bit easier. You can move the stitch that you just did down a little bit if you can, if you want to, if it makes it any easier. And so you can like see this is the post actually. So I'm just going to yarn over and do exactly what I did all over again. So I have a second back post crochet in the last in the last stitch. Okay, so this is what it should be looking like so far. It looks a little bit weird, but it'll start looking better. And you see already how that that extra, see how our chain 2 kind of like curves like this and gives it a nice look here. It will also give it the same effect, basically on the opposite side. That's why we do 2 in the end of each row, is so it gives it that nice curvy look to it. It's very nice. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn our work. I have a tendency to take out my hook and reinsert it when I turn my work. Okay, so we want to keep this pattern. So like we want another ridge in the row that we're going to be doing. We want the ridge, we want another ridge above this one, and we don't want a ridge above this one. So what we're going to do actually is reverse the stitches that we're using. That sounds really funny, but it makes sense. So basically we used back post crochets for the last 4, correct? So what we're going to do is into these back post crochets, we are going to do front post crochets to balance it out and keep the ridge for the last 4 on this side in this next row. So we have our chain 2, and what we're going to do is front post crochet. So we are going to ignore the first stitch, that double stitch we did into the first spot. We're going to go around the back of the second one and out the other side. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. And we're going to do that 3 more times. So the next one, we do 1 front post. The next one, we do 1 front post. So that's 3 so far. And then 1 more front post. And basically, as long as you're aiming for the top of the post that you're seeing, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. You won't mess anything up. Just go for the top of the post. See? You want to get the top of that post. You want to be above this right here. So you want up here. You want to go around up here. So, so you have right as high up as you can, so you miss that you'll be on, you know, it was your because this one is your just your regular double crochets, and then this one, these ones up here are the ones that we actually did the back and the front post on. So you want to work off your last row, so you need to stay at the top. Okay, so because we need another ridge over on the next 4, what we're going to do is back posts. So find the hole between the last one you did, which is this one, and the next one, and go behind, go through, and poke out the other side. And then yarn over, pull through, which it might be a little bit tough in the beginning. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. You can always push the ridge down so you can see better. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, find the next hole around the back and push it through to the other side. And that's 3 out of 4, one more. Alrighty. So I'm going to do some more front posts in the next 4. Again, keeping my my hook as high as possible so I can get that second row. Again, you can push down the ridge in the back if need be. You can see a little bit better. And I just want to mention that you don't have to do it 24 you know, chains across. It's just that, again, I found that for the size that I had made previously, a scarf with the box stitch, the basket weave stitch, 24 worked best for the size hook and the size yarn and everything like that. You are more than welcome to augment it to be thicker or not as thick. But remember to do it in increments of 4. That's it. That's really all you have to worry about. Okay. So again, we're going to do back post 4 around the back and out the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. More front posts. Again, you can push the ridge down if you want to, if it helps you. Okay, and then our last set of back posts. So again, behind, in front, and then behind again. And then business as usual. 1, 2, 3. And then again, we're coming to this last weird one where there's 2 in here. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We're just going to go into the next one because it's our 4th. We're going to do it like normal. We're going to completely disregard this last one here, pretend it doesn't even exist, and we're going to push the last one. We're going to pull it down a little bit, and then we're going to do a second one into the same one we just finished. Again, at the last one on each round, we're doing 2 into them. Only in the last one though, nothing else. So see, now you can start seeing the pattern a little bit better. You have some nice ridges running this way, and you have some nice columns running that way. Columns and rows, there we go, columns and rows. And I personally like the increments of 4 because it makes it, it gives just enough to see the nice pattern. It's big enough to notice the pattern, but not big enough to be obnoxious or anything like that. I am I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to do 2 more rows like this. And then again, let me show you. So you have your 2 that you worked into the last stitch. Again, this is your very first one on this row. Disregard it completely. So because we did back posts on the last 4 at the end of this row, we're going to do front posts as the first 4 in the next row. So completely disregarding this first stitch, we're going to go into the second stitch that's in the same of the last stitch and do a front post. Then for the next 3, do front posts again. Okay, and again, because we did what is it, front post? Because we did front posts on the next 4, we have to do back posts instead this time, because we want that same pattern. So you're alternating. Every row you alternate. So just carry on and finish your third row this way. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well, technically it's 4. So yeah, I'm sorry. Your fourth row, because you have, let's see, you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 rows. The way that I always can tell is I stick my hook or my finger through 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, and 4 hole. So that's how I tell how many rows I have if I really can't tell by eye. Or you could just write it down. That always helps. There are apps specifically for crocheting to you know, you can write down your patterns and everything like that and have notes and everything. Or you could just use pencil and paper or a general note app. So I'm going to carry on this row using the same pattern. Front post. Next 4 back post. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Front again. 1, 2, whoops. 3, 4, and then again you're coming to, you're coming to your last 4 again. And as you probably remember by now, in your very last stitch, you will put 2, and you will disregard that second one in the last stitch. That second one that's already there. So you have 2 here. Those are in the same stitch, if you remember. Disregard this one and find find the one right before that, which is right here. I know, I'm so sorry, my camera is so very blurry. And just work 2 into this one. Again, you can push the one you just made down, pull it down to make more room if you need to. Okay, so as of right now, we have 4 by 4. The bottom ridge isn't super prominent. I mean, that personally doesn't bother me. It might bother you, I'm not sure. But as of right now, we'll do 1 more row. Okay. Following exactly what we were just doing. Okay, you're going to chain 2, turn our work. This side is going to blow your mind because we are not going to change it the way we usually do. Believe it or not, we just did back post stitches on the last 4, so we're going to do back post again on these first 4. That's right, I'm messing everything up. Okay, so we are going to, as usual, ignore this very first stitch, go into the second stitch that's in the same one, and do a back post. And we're going to do back post for the next 3. 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do a front post for the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For back post, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now front post, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back post for the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And front post for the last 4. Remember, ignore this stitch and go into this one that's like stuck behind there. So front post, 1, 2, 3, and remember we do 2 in this last one, 4, and then extra. Okay, so we will basically just repeat these 4 rows the same way that we did these 4 rows. We're going to do the next 4 rows. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn my work, and because these were front, the first 4 on this side have to be backs. Ignore that first extra chain, go into the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically, like I said, we're going to do this one, which will be our second row, and then 3, 4, and 5 the same way, all again. So just basically keep alternating. See, you have you did back posts on these, okay, that's why you have that ridge. So you have to do front post on them now. So 1, 2, again, front post for the next 2 still. Okay, and then we want to do back post on the next 4. Front post on the next 4. Back posts on the next 4. And front post on the last 4. Remember on your last one to do 2 crochets into. So disregarding this one, we're going to be working into this one. 1 and 2. So that's row 2 of our the second part of the pattern. So if you can tell, you see how it's starting to look a little bit different. You have a bunch of columns here, and then you start having rows here. So just the starting. We shall see the pattern better soon. So again, we disregard this one, and we do back posts into the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then front post into the next 4. And back posts into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Front posts into the next 4. Back post into the next 4. And front post into the last 4. Don't forget to make 2 in the last one. Chain 2. Turn your work. Let me pull up more yarn. Okay. Okay. Now see, you can start to see that that last stitch that we always disregard makes it kind of like do a circly type thing, like a very nice like arc. We will kind of like work that in nicely when we do the border, so it'll look a little bit neater. See, it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty nice. So, okay. Because we did front post stitches on the first 4, we now have to do back post stitches. Again, completely disregard this one. Now front post. Now back post. Front post. And post. And front post. Don't forget to do 2 into the last one. Okay, chain 2. Okay, so we're going to do one more row like this. Okay, so I shall show you the change row again, and it'll just be repeating which row is it? This row basically. So what we're gonna do is because we used all, oh wow, that's super blurry, I'm so sorry, because we used front post stitches in the last 4, we're gonna use them again. We're gonna use front post stitches again, but actually, yeah, so we're gonna chain 2, 1, 2. Usually we would start doing back post crochets here, but we're gonna do front post crochets again. 1, 2. Oh no! Oh no, silly me. I missed it. I didn't listen to myself, see? Because I didn't tell you, I forgot. I forgot to put a second one in the last stitch. Oh me, oh my. Maybe you caught it, but I didn't. That would have, well, I mean, like, it's a little bit easy to notice if you're counting, if you missed that last one or not. So you wouldn't get very far anyway, more than likely, without noticing it. Okay, so ignore the first one. 1. Again, we're doing front post. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we're doing back post. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, the row that you do your change row, or whatever you want to call it, I call it the change row. You just want to do exactly the same one you did on this side. You want to follow that pattern technically. So you see how we did front post crochets? If we turn it, we're going to be doing front post crochets again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you turn it, you notice we did back post, so we're going to do back post again. And turn it again, and back post 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we used front post stitches here, so we're going to use them again. We're going to do 4 front posts crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We used back post here, so we're going to use back post again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the extra. Okay. And this is what you should be looking like. Me personally, I think maybe 4x4 is more aesthetically pleasing to myself. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the next 4 rows. And then I will show you the border. But you can pause the video and you know, do your next 4 rows, because we're doing by 5s. So we just did our changing row, our change row. So we have 4 more to go, and then I will show you the border. So go ahead, pause, come back when you're done. Excuse all the changes. Okay, so we're going to do the border now. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the very last stitch that we made, that like second one at the end. And we're going to do we're going to do 2 double crochet, 2 single crochets into it. So 1, and then 2 around the post of the very last stitch that you made. Let me show you again. Okay. Okay. So we're going to be working on the side. We're not going to be working across the top right now. We're going to go down the side. So that first stitch is done. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to, you see how you got these like ones that kind of like turn in? We're going to kind of be pulling them out. Okay. And then we're going to be taking them and crocheting a single crochet into each of them all the way down the side. So you got this here. We're going to do a single crochet into that. Okay. And then you go 1 down, single crochet into that. Now after 2, you're going to kind of have to like pull them out, you know, to keep seeing them. There's going to be like, you're going to have a few like that. You're gonna it's gonna be a little bit weird because like not everything is like exactly the same going all the way down. It's not like you're going to go into like the curvy ones or whatever you want to call them, all the way down the line. So actually next you have like a regular stitch to go into. So see, okay, wait. Okay, so you went into that first like this, but actually you're going to go into this one right here, this one. Okay. So, and then you're gonna go into the next curvy one, which is right underneath the one that you just did. And then there you go into the next one, which again is also actually, I think, curvy. Yes. And then you're gonna go into your last curvy one with, again, single crochets. Okie dokie. And then you have as you can tell, the curvy ones are now on the back side. Okay, so the first one isn't really going to be curvy. You're just going to go into the last stitch. I'm so sorry, everything is so blurry. You're just going to go into the last stitch, and then you'll start in with like curvy things again. So you're going to find the next stitch and go into it. And then you're going to kind of have to turn it and find your curve. Pull it out so you can get it. And then again, you're going to pull the last. And again, always just try to like, you're going to have to like turn your work and find your curves basically. I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of difficulty keeping this thing down far enough for the camera. My stand is so tiny. It's very low. So again, you're going to find the last stitch and go into it. Again. Sorry, I had to see it properly. Okay. Again, just pull up all the work so you can find your curvies, your last ones, whatever you want to call them. And then you're just going to go into them. Keep going into them. It might be a little bit difficult every now and then. It might vary a little bit, the way the edges look and stuff like that. You know, from mine to yours or piece to piece, but generally speaking, it'll look basically the same. So you have that as your edging. Very nice and neat looking. So we're at the corner. So what we're going to do is, we did one already into it. we are going to go ahead and do 2 more into it. 1, 2. It's important when you do corners and you do like multiples into a corner, not to do the stitches too tight, because if you do the stitches too tight, the whole corner will start curling in, and you're gonna have to like take it out and redo them. Also, you want to, you know, do 3 or more than 3, all depending on your project, to, you know, accommodate that corner and how, like, you know, how far you have to go around the corner. So if you were to do another round of like single crochets after your first round, you would have to increase to like say 5 instead of 3 in the corner, and you could do like 1 single crochet in the first one, 2 single crochets in, or 2 or 3 single crochets in the middle, and then do 1 over here. Again, it really all depends on the project, how many you increase by. I think, or you could do, like, if you wanted to do it a little bit nicer looking, I guess, like a little more, like, what's the word? Organized. You could do 2 into the first one, 1 into the middle, and then 2 on the sides. But generally, you're going to want to increase to 5 because you want to be able to make that stretch. So don't don't listen to me and do 2 in the middle. Do 3 in the middle if you're going to do in the middle. Okay, so we're going to do 1 single crochet all the way across the bottom. These are going to be pretty easy. They're going to be pretty dang easy to see. So we're just going to do all across the bottom, 1 into each. I tend to weave my ends in as I crochet. I just crochet over them, as you can tell. That was just like an automatic thing. I didn't even think about it. Some people apparently use a little dot of fabric glue after they weave in their ends to kind of like secure them. I myself do not have fabric glue right now, but I think I haven't tried that one, but I would like to try that in the future. So you can try that if you want to. Just 1 into all of them. And generally also when I weave in my ends, I pull tight. As you can see, like the side will start like curling in because the end is pulling it. And I pull it kind of tighter, and then when I reach the end of the tail, I pull it a little bit loose. I mean, I pull it loose again, not a little bit. Pull it completely loose again. Let me show you. So the tail is right there, that teeny tiny piece, and then you just, and then it usually will just kind of sort of disappear into the ether. Just basically gone now. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the bottom. And I have just this as my last one. So I'm going to do 3 into this because it's my corner. 1, 2, 3. Again, make sure you don't make them too tight at the corner. And basically we're going to just do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to just kind of find our ends and pull them up, because see, we have these that we need to go into. Our last one, our corner one is one of them. So you kind of sort of pull them out a little bit so you can see them better. Turn your work back around. Okay, now you can see them a little bit better here. Okay, one single crochet in each all the way up. Always just make sure you have the actual end and not the wrong stitch, because that can happen. Your little ridges are on this side again, see? So pull up, pull up. So we got one single crochet, one single crochet, one single crochet, one single crochet. And then again, there's the flip. So they're on the other side again. Turn your work, like turn it around. Pull out your edges so you can find them easier. Flip back around. And then I think I'm going to do, there's like, yeah, there we go. And I'm not saying that mine is absolutely perfect. And yours might not end up like absolutely perfect either. So if there seems like sometimes it's like, hey, wait, this doesn't quite fit the pattern, but everything looks okay. If everything looks passable, like it should, but like it seems like you might need to do a single crochet into an extra stitch somewhere along the line, just put it in. If it really seems, you know, it's not going to kill the whole entire pattern if like you're like, wait, that doesn't match the other side, there's like an extra thing. Honestly, if it doesn't look any different, if it doesn't hurt the idea of like being able to get to pull the sides out like that, then it's okay if it seems like there's like, let's say like an extra stitch in here or something that looks like it needs a single crochet. The point of it is to make it look all the same, especially like at the edges. Well, you know, at the edges as we're doing the border right now. So as long as the border looks the same all the way around, you're good. You're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, so we're going to do the fourth corner. And again, a little bit loose. Like don't pull super tight. We want to do 3 into here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're just gonna do across the top, just normally, like we did the bottom. Since we did 3 into here already, we did 3 into here, we're gonna go and we're gonna do into here instead, the next one over. So and again, this border isn't going to like stand out a lot or anything like that. It's not going to make it look super fancy. The point of this border is to just make it look more neat on the sides, more put together. It's basically supposed to be not really noticed. If you want a fancier border, then that's that's up to you. Some people like the scallop stitch, which is like, you know, is like half a circle. I personally like scallop stitch on baby blankets. And yeah, to kind of help you do like regular rows, you can kind of pull so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so we're at our end here, and we are actually on the very last one. We're on the corner. We just did, you know how we did 2 on the very first corner. So we just did our third into the same one. So now what we're going to do is, you already have 2 single crochets in this corner. We're going to go into the first single crochet with a slip stitch. It might be a little bit tough because like it might be a little bit tight, but do your best. And I'm just going to do slip stitch. And I'm going to slip stitch into the next one also, which is also in that same corner space. So I slip stitched into the next 2 that are both in the corner space. Now honestly, if you wanted to, you could slip stitch all around if you wanted to. It gives it another nice subtle look. I tend to like to do slip stitches on top of my single crochets. It makes it stand out a little bit, but it's still subtle. So here's your end product. And you can't even really tell that it has any type of border, which is why I love it so much. It just makes it look so sleek and so put together and very neat looking. You don't even realize that the single crochets are even on there. So yeah, that's the basket weave. So I hope you make many, many things with this basket weave.